Welcome to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy is a veteran U.S. Navy SEAL, a former protective officer for the CIA Global Response Staff, founder and CEO of the Able Shepherd Program, a husband and father of 4, and a personal friend of mine. Now here's Jimmy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. I'm your host, Jimmy Graham. BK, what's up, brother? Doing awesome. A little different. So we're coming to you from the ITB. What's an ITB?
Introduction to Backcountry Discovery Route.
So BDRs, check them out at ridebdr.com. They are an organization that goes out and does from south to north across different states, typically like 9 days. I know we've done like 9 days. It's getting after it. They do the routes. They tell you where to get gas, where to eat, and where to do all that. Had brought Christian on a couple of those, and some guys were convicted, hey man, I'd like to bring my son. I said, let's just do one for the young people. So right behind you are a bunch of motorcycles, a couple of support vehicles, and we said, let's just do them. We don't want to, mess with the BDR title, so we said intro to backcountry. Like this is the backcountry, and also there's BDR. So how do you introduce young people and new families to backcountry adventures? And here we are. So wrap us up, bring us up to date, like 1, 2, 3, and here we are.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what do? You load up a motorcycle, you bring your family out here, you ride some pre-planned trails that have been scouted, set up camp every night, start the day with a devotional and a blessing, and get after it. Make memories, make experiences, and just enjoy life together.
The objective is that everybody goes home better. We have a saying at Able Shepherd, everybody goes home better every single time, including the staff, right? So to come out here and mess around on motorcycles, drink a bunch of whiskey, you drop a bunch of F-bombs and come home worse, and then maybe hurt somebody, it's just not a good recipe. So he said, what if you could go model decency in wild country and model what sustainable looks like, but the way that many of us are called to. So it's exactly what we just pulled off. We're about ready to wrap it up. We've got a lot to share with you guys, and it's been absolutely amazing. Question for you. What's vitamin O?
Well, vitamin O is a non-USDA approved natural supplement that one of our critical key team members takes on every day to sustain the energy.
Essential gear. Essential gear.
Yeah.
Cool.
The public may know it as Oreo.
So vitamin N then would be.
Oh, the nutter butter.
So we're as we narrow down like what's essential. It used to be food and water, a toe strap, a med kit, things like that. But yeah, it's become very obvious that the essentials are where they lie. So we were plenty stocked. We didn't go short. Some of the interviews with I already got requests over here. So. There you go. Hey, hit him up. The kids are doing great. They're being quiet. But watching them rise up and take care of one another out here means something different. It means right now, as in, Missy's right behind the camera, my motorcycle's underwater right now and I need help right now, right? So stand that thing up. My motorcycle's on top of me, please get it off because it's like, 95 degrees. I'm upside down, I have a motorcycle on me. Or simply I just need encouragement because this is a little bit too much. And I could use some true words right now about who God says I am so I can grit my teeth and get back on this motorcycle because there's no, throw it on the back of the truck in some cases here. So anyways, you want to preface kind of going into what they're going to see?
So what we did is we wrapped up with 2 video stations here. At this particular location, it was generally the families. In general, we tried to follow the flow of looking back, what'd you learn? Looking up, being thankful and grateful, looking forward. What are you going to take with you? And I believe you had a station set up just down the road.
Yeah, individuals. So we're going to draw from that. The objective is that everybody experiences something like this, that they all go home better, that we model what that looks like. Don't just tell them, show me. Sure. So what does that look like for these little folks that are standing right here? As little bodies get bigger, we gotta show them. I'm going, you're invited. That's how this thing was born. On this particular one, we had 16 individuals, 15 vehicles, 16 souls, right? So we had to do a head count all the time. We went out here. I've had a dilemma where people have said in the business world, you have to decide. You have to decide who you're going to market to, what is your objective, what are you going to do? So is it protecting, schools and churches, by pursuing the hearts of men, or is it investing in the children? Both. Like you have to decide. It says who? Well, it says marketing says this, says that, you must focus. I'm like, you know what, God trumps all that stuff. So I'm being called to do that, pursue the hearts of men, and women, by the way. Pursuing the hearts of men, women will benefit probably more than the men in some cases, right? As we go down this line of taking care of one another, teaching, leading, and protecting as shepherds, but then modeling that sustainable, healthy future for our young people. I'm going, you're invited. That loop is a good recipe. I asked BK during my time, you got to get a recipe right before you share it, and I think we've got it right, so it's time to share it and get more people inspired to do things like this, because it was just undeniably good.
Fantastic.
Agreed?
Absolutely.
All right, guys, enjoy, and as we typically say in the end, and I'm going to say it right now, God bless each and every one of you. Take care of one another.
Looking back, looking up, looking forward. Give me some memories of this specific trip that kind of jump off the tip of your tongue.
I would say all of us boys and then Reagan tagging along, going down to the creek down there, splashing around and watching those people do donuts, and just being a group and having fun as a whole family here.
I don't think we've seen Levi ride at all this week, because he's been off, just ringing through the gears. So it's been fun to see him, advance in his skill set. And then Krista goes from flatland in our backyard to this beautiful scenery, and seeing her skills progress from Thursday to Friday to Saturday. So I think that's just awesome, with the back-to-back opportunity that you get daily to push your dirt biking skills and get comfortable. And then you come back and you ask people, like, what should I have done here? What could I have done different? What do you do? So it's fun to see the group of kids and new riders get better.
I think two moments stick out to me. Yesterday we were stopped and figuring out riding up this pretty rocky terrain. And as a new rider, I'm sitting there looking up at this rock and thinking how terrified I am, and glad that I'm not riding it. Somebody else was going to ride my bike up. And I came over to check in with Levi, and he's like, I am so excited to ride this. And it was really cool. He was no fear, and I knew he had the skill to tackle it. And again yesterday, another rocky area. We're riding up, and I had just taken a spill. And we come up to this pretty steep area, and I stopped and I turned my bike off. There is no way I'm riding this. And right then I see Don Jones walking down the hill, and he just points at me like he's got me. He's going to ride my bike up. It was an amazing moment just to know that somebody in my community had my back. I know my husband would have done it too, but just to see, somebody else had my back like that was amazing. Best feeling in the world.
Just the ride. I've had a really good time with riding with all the buddies and all that.
Yeah, this is your second one with us, right?
Yeah.
How's it compared to the first one?
It's not any more difficult, but it's really fun. Just like different terrain, all that.
Yeah. A wheel that doesn't wobble?
Yeah, a wheel doesn't wobble.
And you've got a lot more skill this year than you had last year, so you're doing way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody's up
Doing
their
better.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to play in a little bit of water.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Got to do a little bit of mechanicking on the bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You got up and lit the fire this morning for everybody.
Yeah, I like getting up in the morning. It's fun.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the grandpa-grandson adventure connection.
The duo.
The two Don Jones.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
That sounds like a tequila.
Yeah.
Tudajones.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. Happy that we came here. I like to be around all these people. They're nice. They're fun. Yeah.
Yeah, from my end, it's trying to build some memories. I didn't really know either one of my grandparents, grandfathers. We lived a long ways away from one, and then the other one died while I was still young. So, that's something you can carry your whole life. Hopefully he'll carry these memories his whole life. And then teach him some things that you're not going to learn in a book.
Yeah.
You can learn things hard, or you can learn things easy. And it's a whole lot easier to learn some things easy because the world's going to teach them to you in a hard way. And then exposing him to a group of people that's just really stellar people. And I think you learn a lot from seeing other families manage their family. You know, you grew up thinking that the way you were raised was the only way to be raised, and that's not true. There's as many different ways to be raised as there are parents. So it's great being exposed to the way the Cooks take care of their kids, and the way the Everetts take care of their kids, and the way Jimmy takes care of Christian, and it's good stuff.
Jumping the creek and...
Oh, that deep creek crossing?
Oh, yeah. The deep one was... it was kind of sketchy.
How deep is it for you? Like up to your knees, up to your waist?
The highest point is probably up to there.
So your thighs?
Yeah.
Enough to clean out your pockets?
Yeah.
Not to melt your Skittles?
But I found a mud flap and a sock in there.
Yep. What else you found this morning? Give me a hint.
Oh, I found these Tito's handmade vodka glasses.
Which really accentuate the, I don't even know what to describe is going on here. With
That's
the
for the
dirt and
camera. That's the camera makeup, right? Yeah. We were in the green room. They got him squared away.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. It's been a year. You're bigger. Some of the stuff is the same, some's completely different. Your riding has taken off. I felt more confident in my riding on some of the stuff that's sketchy for me. Some of the angles on a bike that heavy, where you have to go up a side, you know, like it's just a lot of bike. And Everett put it perfectly, balance is more important than traction. Like if you don't have balance, you don't have traction. It really doesn't matter what tires you have. And you can stretch tires capability if you've got your balance right. And so I played with that the entire time. Talking to him, as far as a favorite, talking to him all day. We are together all day, every day.
Give us some examples of what you may have heard in your ear.
Oh my goodness. Singing. He forgets I'm on and he sings and I don't say a word because I let him. Right? So his little voice singing, whether it be something from Hamilton, whether it be some a rap song, whatever, I just let him go with it and his voice won't be little forever. It's just awesome. And then to be able to, you know, there's giving our children, it's one thing to invest our time, right? It's another thing to invest our attention. And this was both. So he had my attention, we had each other's attention all day, every day. And that's a straight, direct investment. So that the compound interest of that, you can't even calculate. So I don't know how many times, because every once in a while our comms will cut out. And beep, and then we're gone. And one of us has to hit a button and it reconnects us. So he's always wants to be the one to reconnect. I fixed it, Dad. I got it. I fixed it. And if he's not sure I'm there, he's, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you there? And I don't know, 50 times a day? Probably?
About.
Dad.
About, yeah.
You there? There, boy. You know, good job. Did you see that, Dad? See that? Like, and he's coaching Melissa. Because he found a place like behind Melissa who wants to be behind Reagan, and that's his spot. And he doesn't want to take him. That's his spot. And he wants to encourage her, but she can't hear it because she's not on. Good job, Melissa. Good job. Oh, yeah, no doubt. You got up there with no doubt. And he's talking to her. Like, that's funny. And I'm like, yeah, how'd she do it? Oh, she almost lost it, Dad. I mean, kicks out like that, like the bike must do. She almost lost it, man. Good save. Good save, right? You're a good coach.
Thank you.
So Christian, all your followers on social media, I heard a t-shirt's coming. Maybe a song?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got for us?
Wiggle, wiggle, rat, rat.
Toothpaste boy.
Wiggle, wiggle,
Wiggle,
rat,
rat, toothpaste boy. Can you explain that?
So wiggle, like, you'll go straight through the slippery stuff if you wiggle.
Deep sand?
And if you rev it, like, not too long, but just rat, you'll go straight through it. And then toothpaste is, if you hold on to the handlebars too tight, All your toothpaste is gone.
So a lot of training, Mr. Everett, right? He led us through a lot of training. He used some videos, so some of it's from a video. So I saw a video that he presented, and a guy was going through deep, deep sand and pea gravel, and he said balance is where it's at. So finding your balance, and if you go through, he goes, it doesn't matter what the tire's doing or where you steer. It didn't make sense to me. He guns it through soft sand on a very big bike and whipped as hard as he could from stop to stop, and he went straight through. I'm like, how does he do that? If his balance is perfect. If his balance is perfect, that bike goes straight because it wants to go straight, right? The brap comes from brap it, let off, brap it, let off. If you make a mistake, don't commit to it. If you hold it down, you're off the trail or off the mountain. So quick little brap, 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 and if you see something, you have time to fix it. And I remember the guys being stuck, all the bikes stuck in deep sand, and I was going brap, 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 brap in my tractor, which is basically a 1200 GS or 1200 GS BMW, heaviest bike out here probably, and I'm just doing this and this, and like a tractor, it's just tuck, 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 right through the deep stuff. So the wiggle, wiggle, brap, brap, right? Thank you, insert brap, brap, okay? Toothpaste says hold on to the bars like a tube of toothpaste, because if you're too tight, open tub, what is it called, a tube of toothpaste, if you squeeze it, there goes your toothpaste, right? So if you're light on those controls, you can't be light if you're leaning forward. You can't be light if you're leaning back, so it makes you get perfect, right? And then I would just say, boy, and I said, hey, remember, wiggle, wiggle, brap, brap, toothpaste, boy, and I would just say, and then I go, wiggle, wiggle, brap, brap, toothpaste, boy, and then we're singing it for like 30 minutes.
Now we're making a shirt of it.
And now we're making sure, yeah, maybe. Melissa was talking about that, so we'll see where that goes.
And I think an interesting point I heard at the campfire, each bike has its own balance point.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Finding that, I jumped on Melissa's and it's different than mine, so now I'm in a different tucked position, try to find that center of gravity for Jimmy, right on the pegs, knees in, steering with my knees, very light on the controls. You want to go forward, brap. You want it to go left or right, lean, add brap, right? But like even if something is going into like a V channel and you got to be on this edge, then this edge, your weight's changing. So as Everett put it, your energy, your weight has to go through the bike. So if I'm on here and I'm over here weighted on the right side, that bike's going to kick out. So I got to be hanging to it, putting my weight on my left foot, right, left foot, pushing in with my left knee so I don't slide off of that angle. And it's constantly changing, and once that starts clicking, it gets a lot of fun. Till then, it's terrifying. As you know, through many BDRs and that bike looking like it does, yeah.
The favorite part, it is difficult to consolidate 96 hours, but for me being we'd call it a sport vehicle, it's the last man in line, and I call them my chicks out in front of me. There's 15 people kind of counting on me, and that is kind of a servant role, which really fills my cup. But my favorite part is being able to lead by example, silently usually, I forget, we probably have 6 kids at least, and without having to say one word, we are surrounded by please and thank yous and just well-behaved children who get that generally from a good example, well-behaved adults. So how do you encapsulate that? I don't know. Being surrounded by young ones with a beautiful heart, it's hard to top, for sure.
Yeah. I've heard different language coming out of BK, Brian Karch, specifically on this one. You want to touch that?
It's a tough one. I had a moment, so a little backstory, maybe a year ago on this BDR, Jimmy introduced me to a devotional, which is a daily reading with a Bible verse by Blackaby. The general concept, or the way I incorporated it is, at the beginning of each day, 5 to 5:30, before coffee, before you do anything else, put the word in your brain, right? Highlight it, make notes, then read the Bible verse. So let's just say we're a year into that. One hit me really hard, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember. Hard enough that at 10:30 at night I got out of bed. I'm like, I can't go to bed with this on my heart. Reader's Digest version sent out a part apology
and truly asked for forgiveness. Pretty massive weight or burden was lifted, but also there's some self-realization. You're like, wow, that's not the guy I want to be. Let's course correct. So 2 or 3 weeks before we departed on this trip, whether it's realization or forgiveness, or I think that is the catalyst, maybe, for some of these words you've heard, or actions. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, something changed, and in my mind, it was in that time frame for sure. And it's...
You'd shared with me and trusted to me that you'd had an experience walking up some stairs on Resurrection Sunday 2 ago, right? In Castle Rock. That something was different, and then I felt called to just straight up, on the spot, ask you on the podcast if you knew where you were going if you died. That led to an invitation into the kingdom.
Yeah.
Just outside looking in for whatever it's worth, you had said something about yesterday, like what God just saw when he looked down and saw little kids almost fighting over reading the devotion. One read the verse, and the others, they split up the devotion. And when you said that, man, it punched me in my soul. Like, that's my son, for one. That boy that he's entrusted to me, and I know the other parents feel the same. And I hadn't really considered yet that perspective, that 30,000-foot view when he looks down and smiles and goes, check out my kids right now. Hey, he just throws an elbow and goes, look. Yeah, no, you're looking at the city. They're over there. Look, west, further west, right there. Oh, yeah, that one? Yeah, listen in.
Yeah. It was, in my mind, it was something about forgiveness. And when you hear these young children reading the Bible, reading a devotional, what it must sound like to him. If I can hear kids like that, what do we sound like to him? Really felt good. It brought a grown man to tears. It was pure, it was innocent, and it's like, wow, I get to be a part of that.
Yeah.
He gets that all day, every day.
Yeah.
So.
And that transparency was just modeled for them, and they can't unsee it, right? And this isn't, like, just, I grew up with some adventure, but like not this kind of gritty, man, it's dangerous. Mm-hmm. There's risk involved. There must be people picking you up and topping off your gas and standing a motorcycle on end to drain it so that it'll run it. It'd have been dead in the water and we'd be getting recovery crews going, right? Yeah. So just gleaning so much from one another. And they're just sitting here just taking notes, and just watching whether they could say that or not. And then even today when I said, I've got my devotion, it's packed up, but I didn't bring my paper Bible because it's weight, and I've got my phone, and I knew we'd be doing devotions. Like, I got mine. I'm like, you up, brother? Got you up.
Yeah, we, I think one thing I've seen quite a bit, both male and female adults, is vulnerability. This is a safe environment with people you trust, or more importantly, people who have earned your trust. You've been out in these fields. You've been on adventures. They are people of character, and they are willing to let their guard down. And I call it the waterworks. I don't know what it is. Sunday, getaway day, end up bawling my eyes out, because you're going to miss these people. You're going to miss these adventures, but there's something cleansing, You're putting it out there on the table. Ben and Krista got to celebrate their 23rd wedding anniversary
today
with us on this day. And it's fantastic all around. Yeah.
I don't really know.
Can I start?
Yeah.
So we missed this adventure last year because I was at work, and we had planned for it, thought we were going to be able to come. So looking back, I'm looking all the way back to last year. And the disappointment that he had, and last year was just going to be the two of us. And unfortunately, pretty disappointing moment in the Cook household when I couldn't get out of work and couldn't make it last year. So we were very excited for this year. We got a lot more practice and a lot more riding in, so I think we're better prepared to actually be here this year, so might have been a good thing. But yeah.
Bigger bike.
And then we decided that we would let Mama and sister come along too and make it a big family adventure. But looking back this week and what we learned, At least what I learned is there is nothing better than to be out here with this group of people and with these kids, just sharing life together and sharing adventure together, sharing struggles together, sharing victories together. It's just, you can't find this anywhere else. I've been doing stuff a long time in my life, and I've never found anything like this anywhere.
Now, how about for my ladies, my radio buddies in the vehicles? For those of you on the other side of the camera, the ladies were riding in a side-by-side, providing support, gasoline, food, smiles and waves. What are you going to take home with you?
She learned how to do the radio so she could talk to BK over it, tell him some jokes and keep him entertained. Yeah. She really enjoyed. Did you enjoy going fast over the humps?
Yeah.
The loop-de-loops? What else did you enjoy?
Like hanging out with Reagan. Like hanging out with friends and family?
I think you like fire sticks. Or you like staying warm, one of the two.
Fire sticks.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed just watching everybody get along, taking care of one another, as Abel Shepherd always likes to put in our minds. Just watching everybody, as soon as somebody went down, jumping off the bike as quick as they could to help each other out, and just being there for one another. And the camaraderie, just sitting around the fire, hanging out, playing. That was pretty awesome.
And congratulations, by the way, to one of the newest Able Shepherds.
Thank you.
Husband and wife Able Shepherd team. That is special to watch. A team work together who's truly a team. So
It's been a lot of fun.
yeah.
I was being ran over. And having fun, maybe popping a clutch on the single track, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. What are you, Jace?
Great that everybody can be here, and I'm glad that my bike didn't die on me, and I'm really happy that I'm not severely injured like last in BDR intro.
When you did the Superman on the BMX test track,
Is
that where you were flying?
Injured, though. Yeah, pretty much.
I can't wait to hear what Melissa's going to say. Just remembering how I fell asleep last night, I'm just going to plant that seed. You know, you go where you want to go.
You know what? There's a lot of takeaways of this trip. I think that there's funny, there's learning experiences. Let's just start the first one, creek crossing. Going in a little bit too confident, getting off track a little more. In this case, it was too far to the left, dumping the bike and taking a little swim. But what I did learn is two-stroke bikes are really resilient as long as you get the ignition shut off. But I think as a whole group, we learned a lot about a KTM two-stroke bike. How easy, or what appeared to be easy as an onlooker, doing some maintenance on trailside, but that was fun to see. Some funny takeaways. Let's see, there's jokes at the campfire. There's getting to, in our case, kids were in one tent, adults in another. And, we chose our camp setup near the campfire. And, in the moment of being hotboxed by your husband, let's just say, it's a bodily function. It's a bodily function we all have to let loose on. So, but that was, a little chuckle for the entire campfire to experience. Like, oh wow, yeah, there's something going on in that tent right now. I'll just say, this being able to enjoy this with the entire family. There's always good takeaways. There's learning experiences as an adult, also as kids. But at the end of the day, we're all going home unharmed and safe and with all our arms and legs intact.
So for me, I think the things that are going to pop out as memorable and top of mind is when I'm out front, I don't get to see the riding. I don't get to see the action. But I usually stop when there's a challenge and make sure everybody gets through. And so I get to witness some of the obstacles that could be deep crossings, just be a difficult section of trail. And for me, I really enjoy seeing the successes. Because sometimes these younger riders, these newer riders, they don't know what they're capable of or what the machine is capable of. And I think that the expressions, the out loud celebrations, and just getting through those obstacles and going, wow, I made it, those stand out to me. And when it's your children, it's exciting. But it's also exciting when it's your wife and she previously fell in a creek and now she just went through 3 in a row and there's an audible woohoo. So yeah, it's good stuff.
So I sit here, I stay on the outside. I'm still part of it. But as a family unit, are you better before, better after the trip? Where do you stand there?
I don't really know. Kind of both are in between. Yeah.
I think it's really important for families to get out, to experience life together.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think. Oh,
Okay. Ladies first.
Thanks. I think in our family's circumstances, we are very fortunate that we get to do a lot as a family. Even when the kids were younger, we always included them. From our trips to Moab on 4-wheels, off-roading, from car seats to changing diapers roadside, they have always gone. We've included them on our adventures. And that, I think, is important for families because it's doable. They can go along and experience it with you. And for us, I think that, we get to share our passion with them, for them to also enjoy and learn to do. And for our family, I think that, there's hard times, there's some discipline, there's, some disagreements. But I think after each trip, we get to sit back and talk about it and dissect it. And what did we learn? What could we do different? And so I would say each family is growing stronger after events like this.
And I feel like I know part of the story. This is a very conscious decision to take the family as a unit, to create adventure, to create a learning opportunity. Help me understand where that came from.
I can show you where it came from with me is, when I was younger, I wasn't subject to camping or the woods, and I'd see it from afar. I was like, wow, I'm drawn to it. And then I got to be driving age and then got a Jeep, and then I just went out on my own and would literally stay in the mountains on my own. So that passion grew from within somewhere, and when I knew that it was going to stick for me and it wasn't going away, I got on 2 wheels and got to see more of it faster. And this is all pre-marriage, pre-kids, but I started traveling state to state with my bike on the back as a salesman. The bike was for me, and what was in the vehicle was for work. And it was instilled in me during those 20s and early 30s. And then I met Melissa, and her dad used to race and did the snowmobile thing and the riding. So I was like, yeah, it's probably a pretty good chance that I can get her out. And we did. And then the kids have been on extreme obstacles from diapers till now, whether it be 4 wheels or 2 wheels. And they either like it or they don't, and we would adjust, but they tend to like it and they're still going, and they're meeting these challenges with more and more confidence as these trips go by. But needless to say, by the looks on their face and the dirt on their face and the expressions we get, they're enjoying themselves, and there's some lessons here. There is work behind the scenes. There's work to live. Others aren't always going to do it for you. And there's also some lessons coming soon, because this is the trip that afterwards they're going to start doing their own bike maintenance. So if they didn't know that yet, they do now.
And you guys also float. It's just not wheels. You get out on the boat, right?
So yeah, so my answer is just seeing them evolve and take on these responsibilities and be less independent each trip by not just little bits.
Yeah.
Seems to be decent jumps in responsibility.
Yeah, I see it a lot in Jace, because I've seen you grow up from truly a little boy to a young man. Around the campfire, you know, yes sir, no sir, maybe a little guidance about getting a tent set up. But let me hear it from you. What do you feel? What are you learning by the examples being set?
By the examples being said, I would suggest listen to the grown-ups and no back talk. Yes sir, yes ma'am. But I would suggest doing the right thing. Like, say, my parents say, go set up the tent. You don't just say yes sir and then you don't do it. I would just go set up the tent and then I can have fun afterwards. Work becomes before fun.
And I think that leads in nicely to, you know, when you think of this trip, what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? Specifically looking up, talking to God, like.
I'm just thankful that all of us are still safe. If we did crash, we're okay. It wasn't bad at all. No bikes are broken. And just having a good time with everybody, playing games, playing in the river. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I'm becoming more aware of is all the blessings that we've been given, and we don't always pick them all up. Some of them we just leave them laying by the roadside, and that awareness is allowing me to pick up more and more of those blessings. So this is a blessing to be able to have the time and the money to buy the gear, and it doesn't have to be perfect gear. I mean, you can Band-Aid a tarp on top of the tent and you're just fine. But just kind of one of the pastors at our church mentioned it a few weeks ago. You can be entitled or you can be rescued. And I'm starting to realize that I'm rescued and I'm blessed, and just taking advantage of those blessings. Pick them up. They're laying all over everywhere. It's like searching for gold, and gold nuggets are everywhere, and we've just forgotten to look for them and pick them up and relish them. So this is one of those gold nuggets, spending time with Donnie and watching him play with his buddies and spending time with other good people like you, Brian, and everybody else in the group. And life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah, and we have a situation where we're literally riding from the valley to the mountaintop, back down to the valleys, which in a way mirrors life. Like, Donnie, you're young, right? Everything's good.
Everything's good. You have highs and lows.
Yeah.
You know?
We all have challenges. Speak to us about some of the challenges you saw on this last trip.
Wheels get a little wobbly. But we got it all fixed now. Everybody helped a little bit. That was nice.
Yeah, that was a valley for you because you didn't get to go on that single track.
Yeah.
But you pushed through it, fix it, learn from it.
Yeah.
So that's a valley. Baseball's a valley sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Those valleys get bigger and deeper and wider as you grow older.
Yep.
Yep.
And the importance of having people around you to help you, good people. Yeah. Get you out of them valleys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Danny came over and helped us fix all that. Mr. Danny came over and helped adjust the chain.
Yeah, Mr. Everett lended us his tools and all that, so did Mr. Danny.
I think those are mostly Brian's tools.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's helping.
And just for the audience out there, I mean, what is the proper hertz for a properly tuned spoke?
It's like, isn't it like 450 hertz?
490 hertz is what a spoke should sound like if you ting it.
Yeah, just smack
So bring your tuning fork.
it.
He was saying maybe we could tune it to play a song, so we could go down the road with the song.
The old day we used to put a playing card with a closed pin in our wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did all that. Cool.
So now looking forward, right? You've got two of them behind you. You kind of know what it is. You got one coming up here in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? What are you going to take from this trip into the next trip?
Like some of the terrain might be similar. Like, as you go on and do more of these BDRs, like, you'll know how your bike acts in certain terrain. It just gets easier. And just looking forward to hanging out with my buddies more.
So what about some of the lessons about helping everybody out? Somebody dumps a bike and you're out there helping them. Somebody needs to put something away.
You just help them, and we'll just have a good time. Everybody helps everybody.
And how can you take that lesson home?
I don't know. You can just think about it, you know? Just
Maybe you could pitch in and help your mom.
Yeah, just pitch
help
in.
your sisters.
Just help everybody.
Before you're told.
Yeah, just help as much as you can.
I think that's a really good lesson. If you can anticipate somebody's need, right? They need help before they know it, and you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the terrain will be different. The altitude will be different. The challenges will be different. What are you going to do to prepare differently?
Just keep practicing, make sure all my gear is good. Like what Mr. Everett says a lot, if you take care of your gear, it takes care of you. But yeah, just practice and just make sure everything's good.
Yeah. Anything you're going to pack that you forgot?
One more pair of socks?
Yeah, another pair of socks. I had to dry mine on the fire this morning because they were wet from the creek crossing, but another pair of socks.
How about you, Don?
Yeah, on my end, it was the devotional, and some of the talk in the devotional today, I need to take that into my house, my home, and live that, and that's hard, because I can justify mistreating somebody because of the way I'm feeling I'm being treated, and that's not right. You know, I'm in charge of me. I got to do what's right, regardless of how I feel what's coming back to me. In terms of the next ride, it's lighten up the gear, because we're not going to have your awesome support, which is critical to making this really easy, so thank you for that. We got to lighten up the gear a little bit. We're going to go through all the equipment, make sure it's good to go. We might break down that tire and replace that missing spoke, or just get a new tire.
Fix all that.
Or a new wheel. Yep. Just double check the gear. Get a little bit lighter. And go do some riding up at the cabin so we can get just a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. You were talking about the devotional. Jimmy introduced that to me, about a year ago maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Where you read the devotional, read the Bible, and that's the first thing I do every day.
Mm-hmm.
First thing. Well, I might go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But before I have coffee, and I typically wake up before my wife, and I'll highlight it and make my notes. And just last week, I walk in the bedroom, she's sitting there with her devotional.
Good. That's good. Well, and to start your day like that, it's like what popped into my head as you're saying that, who would hop out of bed and just start walking a direction without stopping and thinking, where am I going today? And that's stopping and thinking, where am I going today?
Okay.
Let's get in the book. Let's figure out where we're going.
And I think, Donnie, for you, from two old guys with gray beards, lead by example. Show people the way. You know.
Yeah. If you lead, they'll
choose a good
follow.
way.
Yeah.
The world is full of followers. We need good leaders.
Yes.
And you can do that. Anybody can do that. But it takes work, and work smart, work hard, and make sure you're getting all your cues from the right place, which is what?
Just hang around good people.
It's God.
reading the Bible.
That's where you get your best cues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well done. We're growing a leader.
Thank you, Team Jones.
Adios.
Mr. Jones.
Duo Dan Jones. Duo.
I'm grateful that when I wrecked, I didn't wreck too hard. I was going in first gear and hit a tree. And other than that, my bike tipped over 2-3 times, so I'm glad no one got hurt.
I'm thankful for the amazing mechanics on this trip that have been able to conquer just the variety of things that you run into on stuff like this, and that they've been able to keep or get all of the bikes running so that everybody can keep moving forward. Just thankful for the community and everybody encouraging and pouring into each other. It's just so precious.
Yeah, I think it's hard to nail down, like, I'm thankful for this. Like, there's not a this, there's the everything. Able Shepherd's such an amazing culture, and being able to break bread, fellowship, spend time, tell funny stories with people that you might take a class with, or you might go to a mixer or small event or something with, but this community, aside from a church community or a family community, is unique and caring. And this is a place where you can come and be 6'3" and 260 pounds and be, giggled at and made, poked fun of because they love you, like the Q-tip story, right? And it's a place where you can come and be vulnerable and have a really hard day and wish you hadn't just gone up that hill because you dumped your bike, but you got somebody there to help you. And it's not just me, the husband, or her, the wife. You got a kid that's coming down, trucking down the hill. Oh, okay, are you okay? Like, that's built into what we're here for.
Yeah.
So that's.
And one thing we like to talk about is looking forward. What are you going to take from this adventure? I don't know, incorporate it into your everyday life, incorporate it into what you're going into.
Knowing that God has patience and that he'll never just give up on you and let you wander off. Humans have adventures and they get stuck in bunny holes sometimes, or rabbit holes. Mm-hmm. And God just pulls us right back out and we go right back into it. It's just a journey. But it's fun to know that we have a whole Able Shepherd family that can take care of us if we dump our bike or need a little extra food or something.
Super cool. One of the devotions we were talked about Judas and Peter and wallowing in your shortcomings or accepting God's mercy and moving forward. And that applies to so many areas, not just dirt biking, but definitely dirt biking. I don't want to wallow in my shortcomings or wallow in my shortcomings as a mother, as a wife, whatever. I want to accept the mercy that is extended and move forward. It's pretty awesome.
I think something I'm looking forward to is, and it's something that if you're in the program, you know it, but this is experiencing it. So being able to talk with Jimmy and Melissa and all the instructors, like they have all of this that they want to do more. I want to do more. So what I'm looking forward to is the more. What's that going to be? What's it going to look like? And if you know Jimmy, there's a lot more. What is that man and what is his team going to come up with? And more family. Able Shepherd's isn't just doing entries with a firearm. It's protecting your family and stealing from him the green marker, green pen, whatever he calls it, Like, this is family. This is what God intended family to be. You fall down, you pick each other up. Oh, you need some gas? I've got some. Hey, let's go start. Donnie this morning, he's like, hey, think we could start the fire? And just him and I were the first ones up. Let's go do it, buddy. I know you're cold. So definitely looking forward to the more.
And the more people getting to experiencing it.
Yeah, the more.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like there's a fancy word for where we're at. We're literally going from the mountain to the valley. Congratulations to you guys on 23 years. I'm guessing there's been a mountain or a valley. How has this community made you better? I've heard it. I've seen it. And Levi, you get to benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's life's not perfect. Life's not easy. And the little lessons we get to learn on a weekend like this, you can incorporate into Monday morning, you know, that we're here for each other. And 23 years. It's not been easy. Man, it's been great.
I feel like life has its ups and downs. You just gotta go and tough it out and just do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you're in those tough times?
I know that I have God on my side and that no matter what happens, I know someday I'm going to heaven and that I'm going to be in a beautiful place.
What are you bringing home with you when we depart today?
The big thing that's been really heavy on my heart is my wife. With the exception of you, I think, or maybe Don, our spouses are at the house. She has been going through a rough time. If I was honest, she needs me right now. And I'm like, dang it. I want to be there for her, so I'm looking forward to seeing her smiling face when I get home. What am I going to take home? A lighter heart, an energy, a joyfulness, a purity of children. And thinking out loud, not really connecting the dots. I'm a child of God. I have that energy. I can bring that home to my wife. And what is that? Being positive, being encouraging. I can be there to pick her up. Even though she's not on the trail, we're all on an adventure in life. She needs just as much assistance there. So looking forward to getting back there in that sport role.
Amen. Anything else we haven't aired out yet?
Anything else? Well, I don't know. These keep getting better and better.
Where's it going? Where do you see this going?
Where is this going? If you want to be better as an individual, if you want to grow as a spouse, if you want to develop as a parent, if you haven't taken the step to ask for forgiveness, if you're not looking for God, if you're empty and filling a void, let me give you a suggestion of where to start. Surround yourself with good people, making good decisions. Who knows what the truth is and where it comes from? There's a website, ableshepherd.com. Go look it up. And if you want to be a jackwagon that wants to do donuts in a national forest park, making noise on an ATV, knock yourself out. I know how that story ends. But if you want to grow, learn, develop, teach, lead, protect, and be better for yourself, better for your family, better for the community, get out here. That's where this is going. I see a very tight-knit group now. I see possibly almost like pods developing because let's just say May through September, you had one a month. It's hard to get that much time off work. So developing leaders to plan routes,
Yes.
to have equipment lists, to step out and say, I'm going, you're invited. Replicating that so more people can be a part of what we're experiencing here.
Likewise, when I see this, I see it's one thing to model it. It's another thing to facilitate it. I think before you share the recipe, get it right. I think we're there.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's like, like I said, don't just love my kids, I love all kids, right? So could we inspire someone to do something in their own backyard? Maybe it's, the beautiful fields of Kansas and they figure out to do something. Maybe it's on the coast and it's a sailing trip. Maybe it's something, but it's like, hey, there's a recipe here. Must have a foundation. That foundation's in decency. If we're on a war on decency, someone indecent can't lead it. And that starts with this guy, right? And I know you're part of that. You'd mentioned a servant's heart. I would add a shepherd's heart. I know you have it, and I see you light up as you follow and be accountable, saying, last man. You're like, there's nobody behind me. I made sure of it. So they're up there somewhere because they didn't get by me, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge responsibility, but it's a huge honor.
Yeah. It's, to that point exactly, let's say we set up, BK, stay here. We're going to check out an alternate campsite. So I'm probably half hour, 45 minutes behind, let's just call it the team. And working my way down the hill, a friendly face. And then we go to a little bit farther down the hill, there's 2 more friendly faces. And one of the riders is in absolute mental disarray.
Too much.
Overload.
Yeah.
The trail was too much, the temperature was too much, the challenge in front of this person was too much. And previously we talked about the vulnerability. This person was able to open up, put their heart on the table and just say, I'm struggling. And at the time there was 5 or 6 people. We got you. What do you need? You want to hop on that bike? You want to put the bike in the truck? We're here for you. And to their credit, wiped away some tears, tightened up the boots, and rode that bike down into camp, and just the confidence, the growth in 5 minutes coming down a hill will change that person for the rest of their life.
Amen.
How do you capture that?
Not getting injured.
Yes, amen. Amen for that.
Injured really is hard. And not, I'm glad I have a nice bike that's good. And I'm thankful for everybody here that they could come. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm thankful for hearing you read from the devotional and read from the Bible.
A whole chapter this morning. Proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
How about you?
What was the question? I'm sorry?
Looking up, what are we thankful for? What are we grateful for?
I'm very thankful that I ever was in a category where I could take off and do this kind of stuff. Just meaning, very blessed to have I did an adventure and got sponsored by BMW, so they let me buy that 2009. I got the oldest bike here, 2009, R1200 bike. It's a heavy bike. It's not the bike I would have picked for this. It's just my bike. It's the one I got, right? So I started doing BDRs, and I beat that thing. It's just run. It's just been very reliable for me. And then Lance, thanks Lance, your cousin helped us find a used, Honda.
2019 Honda CRF.
2020.
It was 2019 CRF 110.
2020. CRF 110. Look at your keychain, bud. That's okay. Doesn't matter. And he found it and went to Kansas, grabbed it, and it's just been the perfect bike for him. I got plenty of power for his weight and all that stuff. He can kind of throw it around and figure it out. And he's going to grow out of it pretty quickly. But just very thankful that investment, that one-on-one time, to where we just get to hang out and get to know each other, build that relationship. He's taking on more of the chores of getting ready and, hey, buddy, can you do this, this, and this before you go play? And you've been knocking it out, right? Mm-hmm. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one of the things I've seen, this morning's devotional maybe planted the seed. We're on the BDR, we're outside. We're literally down at the creek bed now. We've ridden to the top of mountains. We've come down the Rocky Mountains. What are some challenges, Christian, you faced that you would describe, going out of the valley into the mountains?
There's sometimes these divots, that are really deep. And there's some sand. And you gotta goose it and get it out of there before you go into those divots, and it's kind of hard. I fell one time while I was trying to do that. Didn't feel the best, but it's fun. Learned better. Learned more.
something you can take with you. Yeah.
Came out in devotions today. The valleys make the peaks more beautiful. It's just unbelievable. Like those hard, sand-filled valleys where you're wrecking and helping everybody and all that, and then you make it to a view and you're seeing something different that you wouldn't have seen if it was easy. You know, it's just such a parable for life where, you know, it's like, hey, this is hard. It's like, would you want it easy? And most good folks I know would say, no, there's no value in easy. So earning that and then getting up there and you're tired and you're sweaty and your buddies carried you halfway, you carried them the rest of the way, and then you're looking at it and you're like, man, this is beautiful on a level I didn't see yesterday. Right, bud?
Yeah.
So yeah, we heard about challenges, Christian, and you're a young man. You're growing up quick. What can you take from a motorcycle ride with valleys and mountains, and who do you look to for that guidance when you face challenges in life when you're not on a motorcycle?
God.
Amen.
Yeah, he helps me through a lot of stuff.
You took my answer.
Do you talk to him a bunch?
What?
Do you talk to him a bunch?
Yeah.
Good.
All day. It's a BDA prayer, before, during, and after, right?
Yeah.
Before the day, during the day, after the day, before the crash, actually during the crash, and then after the crash, right?
No, I do
do.
that. I do it. Like, whenever it fell, like, and I was all alone, I prayed.
Good job.
And then you came right when we started.
To pray?
Yeah.
Amen.
So I think this is the second BDR I've been on with you on a bike. We've been on a couple in sport vehicles and trucks.
Yeah.
So you've got a tremendous amount of experience. What are you going to take from this one as you prepare for the Alpine Loop here in 3 weeks?
Man, there's, like, I think it might be a little bit harder. So I think I'll work on being more balanced and more calm and relaxed.
How about you, Jimmy?
I just took my answer again. I might consider a support vehicle. We'll see.
Okay.
It's gotten to the point where I absolutely enjoy that machine and this whole thing, but I like the idea of that as well, the supporting. You know, it's like you're support heavy.
I don't.
You know, we call it support light. So he wants me riding with him, and I'll still be talking to you and all that stuff. But there will come a day, and I don't know if it's this year, where maybe I transition into at least partially being on that on TBK as well.
No, there was a time,
We might need.
jokingly, where my truck would need maintenance, tires or oil change. I'm like, no, I'll trade it in. Give me a new truck. So tell me about your maintenance routine on the BMW. How's that maintenance coming along? Any
The maintenance on it, I send it to, oh man, what's his name? Titus.
Titus, yeah.
North. You know, some of the basic stuff, I need to change the oil after this one.
Yeah.
I don't ride it as much when it's not BDRs.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't need a lot other than that. On this one, I think it's probably about time, but it sits most of the year when it's ready to do this. I got to check the battery. The battery's been good to me this year. It's relatively new. And then I'm just rough on it, man. So it's like, hey, it's more like a repair shop than it is a maintenance shop. You know, it's just tractor, man. It doesn't need a whole lot. And it just keeps taking that abuse and just treating me well. So it's just been a good bike for me. But yeah, I would say maintenance, yes, but repair and maintenance would be probably more accurate in that order.
Christian, have you ever heard anything about your equipment?
What do you mean?
Maybe a Graham family saying?
Take care of your equipment.
Oh yeah, take care of your gear and it will take care of you.
So what are you going to do for your bike to prepare it for the Alpine Loop?
Oh, clean it maybe, and I want to put lights on it.
Dude, that's right.
Yeah.
And you got a couple of weeks. It's a quick turnaround, and you got oil and filters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to get together at Everett's and do it as a group. We'll do oil and filters, right? Air and oil filter. Maybe fuel filter.
I did my oil filter last year though.
Okay. How'd you run?
Good.
Okay, good.
What else? What do you want to leave I keep calling it your social media following. I don't know.
Hey, heading home.
What do you want to tell your peeps?
Heading home. Are you coming back better, Christian?
I'm coming back better and new improved.
We got a bunch of girls counting on us, right, to protect that house. You better or worse coming home?
Better.
Why?
Because I was here.
What about it? What here made you better?
The devotions.
Yep. Anything else?
Listening.
Listening?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen you be somebody that would help other people, protect other people. I made the joke about, hey, I got to run up the trail. Christian, you're in charge. Take my gun. He went up and put his hands out like, are you kidding me? And the kids were like, I want a gun. And I was like, just kidding.
I thought you were being serious that time.
Right? You were ready, weren't you?
But you were ready for the challenge.
Yeah. You know how to be safe with a gun?
Yes.
Would you have protected him?
Yes.
Would safe doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and Reagan are the most mature people here.
Oh, really? Of all the people? Even the adults? That's impressive, bud.
No, not the, out of the kids. Out of the kids.
Yep. I just know when a bunch of boys leapt up and said, me, I would have handed my pistol to the quiet one. So
What if she's a killer?
So no, I know Reagan. She would have probably stepped up to the challenge.
She actually didn't know what you were saying, and she was like, what?
Anything else, bud? You gonna do it again?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You had fun?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jesus, right?
Yeah. I'm excited for the water crossing today.
Well, we're jumping river today, too. Anything for your mom and sisters?
I love you guys, and I'll see you today.
Miss you so much. See you soon.
What are you thankful for from this trip?
I'm thankful that I got to hang out with all my friends that I haven't seen in a long time and know them better. Get to come out here and ride.
I am thankful that every single morning we get up and do a devotional together, that we can all sit around, we can be vulnerable with one another. There's enough trust there to just speak our hearts. And again, you don't get this anywhere else. And there's just thankful for you, BK. Thankful for you hauling that big old truck up here. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do it. But you wanted to be out here with us, and it's so good to have you. Thankful for my wife for sleeping in a tent, a little pad. I mean, we had a little camper, so that's our typical camping trip is in a glamping camper.
I love tents though.
Yeah, and so get her out here and actually get her on the ground and sleeping in a tent. It's good. It's good. And I'm just thankful to be out here with my whole family. I'm glad we had the time and the opportunity and the means to hang out with this group, with each other. It's been great.
Sophia, do you have anything to be thankful for?
Not really.
I said it this morning sitting around the devotion time. I'm really just thankful for Able Shepherd and the opportunity we got to just hang out together. Able Shepherd isn't just a building, it's a whole group of people that just gather around each other, and we can do life together and hang out and enjoy each other's company and take adventures and be able to surround ourselves with people that all like to do the same thing.
I'm thankful for the people that came here to ride with all of us.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, a theme, maybe it came up in this morning's devotional. We talked about, in general, in life, maybe challenges, right? And on this ride, we've been We're down at the riverbed right now. We've climbed to the top of a mountain. We've gone over rocks. Talk to me about your mountains, your valleys. What do you, whether it's on this trip or whether it's in life, I don't know.
I like running over all the rocks and going through the V's and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Going around all the little obstacles.
Building some confidence, getting better as a bike rider, yeah.
Learning how to jump.
Right on.
My life has
Like
been.
bike.
You done, bud? Sorry. My life has definitely been filled with peaks and valleys. And I still go through them, but the valleys aren't quite as low as they once were. The mountaintops just keep getting higher. So, yeah, for me, just being able to come out here, watch these kids ride, this is the mountaintop, right? We're out here with like-minded people, great people. We're doing it with our kids. We're living life, living adventure. And I don't know if we can get much better. You know, we've only got a short period of time until, you know, they're out of the house and have their own lives, and not sure, you know, if we'll be able to do this down the road as often. So we'll just have to see. But if we can ingrain it now and make it part of a tradition and be able to do this with groups like this, with this group in particular, I think we're winning.
Kind of like Danny said, obviously life has always had ups and downs and peaks and valleys, but finding a good group to surround yourself with to walk you through those hard times is always essential. And if we can do it together as a family, that makes it even better and it makes us stronger. I think, you know, you can look at it as the physical aspect of us riding the dirt bikes and being able to cheer each other on when you go down and help each other get back up. And it's the same in life as well. And just have that person next to you talking in your mic, talking you through it. It's just, you can put it into the spiritual realm as well.
Yeah, a lot of lessons learned out here for sure. So, would you do it again?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Good.
Yeah. We will do it again.
Are you prepping for next time already?
What would you do different for the next one? Put on a fuel filter?
New fuel filter. Probably not gonna even have that bike next year.
Yeah, you're growing.
Yeah.
Watch you grow overnight.
Sophia, next year are you going to ride?
Yeah. Next year I'm also gonna bring my own stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
Sleep in your own
stepping
tent?
it up a notch. All right.
I'm in Kidville.
And I heard over here in the green room, as we call it, Miss Amanda talking about something she might bring for the next trip.
I'm going to bring an air horn or some sort of horn for the ATV because it does not have one and I cannot warn anybody about anything.
Impending doom.
Right.
Right.
Need a flag.
I don't know. I think I was pretty well set on this trip. Didn't leave anything behind. Could probably step up my tool game. Figure out my tool roll, so I don't have to bug you.
Your glasses.
What was that, Sophia?
He dropped his glasses.
Was somebody there to pick them up for him?
Yeah.
That's right.
There we go. Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you, BK. It's been a great time.
Good time out in the woods.
Yes, sir. All right. Anything else for us? Perfect.
What do we start each day with?
Cup of hot chocolate. Oh, devotions. And talking to others with God and about God and all that other stuff.
We have some important meanings in life,
Yeah.
right? The challenges that we see and how we face them.
Yeah.
How our Creator is so more vast than we can comprehend. So leaning on somebody, I think a creator like that is the best place to focus, right?
Yeah.
And it's great in these communal conversations to just discuss openly your interpretation of one, God's word, but also two, your experiences in life and what somebody else might think of that, because they might have a totally different take, and we learn from that, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Jace? I mean, it really touched my heart the other day when you were reading from the devotional. Tell me where that comes from. Like, how does it make you feel?
My dad, when he was young, he always wanted to be the best. So I'm planning on being the first at everything, like being the first kid to cross the river crossing, or being the first kid to step up to something. I want to be the best and the first. So the challenge in my life is trying to do that, being the best at something, or working up to it. And I would probably want to be the first kid to do the fun stuff, but also work becomes before the fun.
I like it. I see something in those eyes. Talk to me, Goose.
You know, we sit here and our jobs as parents are to raise these kids. And every day, there's a challenge every day. And it's knowing and understanding and having the patience and walking through and teaching. There's a teachable moment in most things that we do. And it's the simplest things that sometimes you don't think that you have to teach. You end up teaching. But I have a strong partner that we get to raise these two kids together, aligning on where our beliefs are to how we want our kids to be raised, and the projection of who they should be when they grow up. But at the end of the day, it's him. He already knows. And if we are able to guide them and give them the resources and model, because that's one thing that we try to do each day better, is model to be good stewards. If we're doing that and they see it, hopefully that they're going to interpret it as well.
Yeah, I got to experience something yesterday, Jace, you read, and afterwards, your parents were so touched. Talk to me about that.
You know what, and to be raise their hand, yes, I want to read, yes, I want to read. And I was just having this conversation with Jimmy a little bit about how when your kids, either your son or your daughters, are reading, and you get to see that, one, they're reading, one, they're stepping up and wanting to read, we're doing something right. And there's different phases. So when we as adults can sit around and discuss what we're reading, I say, they're reading it. The next phase is for them to interpret it. What is it that their takeaway is? And, as the growth happens and they get older, we get to see that. What was your takeaway? What was your interpretation? How can you apply that in your day-to-day lives? And I'll just say, Jace's his reading and comprehension and wanting, it makes me proud to see him do that. I'm like, hey, that's a win.
Yeah, it was neat sitting on the sidelines because the amount of love going between your mom and dad was astronomical, like off the charts, like something blew up. So I got to see that. Thank you. What are some things, the Alpine Loop, 3 weeks, what are you going to take from this? What did you learn? What are you going to take to the Alpine Loop?
I'm going to take from the Alpine Loop.
To the Alpine Loop.
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, I'm going to take proud in my stuff, and I'm going to take encouragement and positivity, but the most important thing I want to take is love. Love in the nature, friends, family. That's the most important thing I need to take. I think I'm gonna take confidence and pride in what I'm doing, and the skills that I've learned on this trip with me. Yeah.
So each ride, take what you've learned and
Yeah.
get better.
Yep.
Apply it with confidence.
Yep.
It's good. You know, as parents, we can't instill that. We can give them the platform and the opportunity. They have to instill that. They have to take what they've learned and do something with it, or not. And we are looking at a ride that's going to be highly above tree line, a little cooler, different soil than we've been on yet, and not necessarily a significant uptick in difficulty, but because you're on top of the mountain and you're so high, it just could be intimidating. So we're going to see how they handle that and just uptick the anxiety maybe in some a little bit, but the reward is going to be, the term we're using is epic. And whether you can make one of these rides or not, I'll say it and I'll say it again, make it a bucket list to do the Alpine Loop because it is that majestic, and they call it the Switzerland of Americas for a reason. It's the highest concentration of 14ers, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
What else you guys got? Anything good? What do you want to leave me with?
Let's see.
Thank you, BK, for coming on this trip and being support and carrying our stuff and carrying the Oreos and Nutter Butters. That was very important.
True essentials.
Yes.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again for another episode. Please be sure to follow us and support us on all of the social media. That's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. All of that starts by visiting ableshepherd.com.